Hello, welcome to Simon's New York Stories. This one's called Ridgewood, 1975, and it's funny because my family has a big connection to Ridgewood, but I'll talk about that at the end of the story. So, summer of 1975, I was in this band, Instant Chemical Religion, and we were all like long hair hippies, right? And we were playing we rehearsed in Woodside, Queens, on 61st Street and Northern Boulevard, but also we would rehearse in Forest Hills. And I got into this band because I was attending music and art high school on 137th Street and Convent Avenue, and I ran into all these kids there, like Gary Pirro and Ed Freeland. Ed Freeland is the bass player with the Mavericks now, right? And this guy Don Allen, was a real lunatic, and this guitar player Gary Klein, and then Steve Starr was the keyboard player. Steve Starr, right? So we played. We were still kind of stuck in the hippie era of music, so we played like Allman Brothers, Grateful Dead, blues, and like the easy Frank Zappa songs. The ones that I think we played like Call Any Vegetable and let me see what other Frank. We did a bunch of Frank Zappa tunes, but they were all off either Freak Out or Absolutely Free, because we were definitely like not accomplished enough musicians to play his stuff. But we tried. So we didn't write songs or nothing, but it was really great to be in this band for me, you know, because I had, we were just jamming basically. I mean, we'd rehearse and stuff, but we were basically just jamming. So it was like, 75. When I think the summer of 75, when I think about what was happening in rock and roll history at that time, that's when the Heartbreakers were playing CBs and Maxes and everything. Like punk rock was just starting out. But I was, I was completely oblivious to it, except for like, I'd seen the Electric Eels, and I think I met the first punk rockers I ever met were like Nick Berlin, and Jerry Agony, right, and his girl Janet, and they were the only three punk rockers I knew. And so we were out there, and we went to we got this job with the city of New York, and they were paying us $42.50 a week, and they gave us a step van, like one of those like Mr. Softy or like mail trucks, and they paid us $42.50 a week, and they would just tell us, go here, go to this place, go to that place, set up your gear and play, and they would give us the wrench so we could tap the power. And I just loved it because I had I could just take whatever amp that either these guys had or that I had and just turn it up to 10. Like I would just turn all the knobs on 10, and we would just like play, Turn On Your Love Light for like 30 minutes. That was, like the kind of band it was. I mean, now you see all these old fat guys with like a tie-dye shirt and bald head on the top of the ponytail and like beige cargo shorts and a fanny pack, and they're playing Turn On Your Love Light for 20 minutes. Well, we were doing that shit in 1975. So the city told us, you're going to go to Seneca Avenue, Seneca Avenue and Cornelia Street in Ridgewood, right? Was like half a block off Myrtle Avenue. It's actually right by where Rudy's German Bakery is, right? So you're going to go there, you're going to play a concert in the street. So we were like, yay. So we all got in the bread truck, and I'd never been to Ridgewood in my life. I just knew it was on the border of Brooklyn and Queens. It was kind of near Bed-Stuy and everything, but I'd never been to Ridgewood. So we go down like, Woodhaven, and we go down Cooper Avenue, and I'm like holy shit, you know, like I'm exploring, you know, life. I'm going someplace I've never been before. It's like being on the road tour or something. So we get down to Ridgewood, we set up and play, and we're playing, you know, like right, and I'm like, you know, that's how I played, right? That's my style back then. Still is. I haven't really progressed very much. So, so we're playing and playing, and then these local kids came by. At first, they were friendly, which didn't last very long, as I shall tell you. So they were friendly, and then they were like, "Hey, you guys are pretty good." Then they were like, "Hey, can Brock sing Mac the Knife? Can Brock? He wants to sing Mac the Knife, Mac the Knife." So we're in Ridgewood. This guy wants to sing, so we let him sing, and he sang Mac the Knife, and like we played Mac the Knife, so like everybody's cheering, and then he goes, "I want to play the drums. I want to play the drums." He goes to the drummer. The drummer was like, "No, man, you can't play my drums, man." You know, and so they start going back and forth, everything, and then the drummer, right? They get into some kind of shit. So here's Brock, and he wants to play the drums, and he's being kind of pushy about it, right? So the drummer punches him in the face, and then the drummer runs away and locks himself in the van, leaving the rest of us to deal with what happened. So fight breaks out, all hell starts breaking loose, right? Now the drummers, they just start swinging on us. Now the eye doctor came along with us. You know, me and the eye doctor have been friends a long time. The eye doctor was along for the ride, and he kicked the door in on the van where the drummer was hiding and cowering, and he got my guitar and my amp and other guitars and put them in the van before they got smashed to pieces. Thank God. The eye doctor saved my ass. But then they hit a girl, like we brought like all the kids from Forest Hills and Woodside came with us. So we had a whole van load of kids that were like supporters from our side, right? And then we had, we were like the away team. So like these guys start laying into us. They hit a girl with a mic stand. They picked up one of our mic stands, hit a girl. So then I'm looking, and to this day, this is the most beautiful thing I ever seen in my life. I seen my daughters be born. Okay, I saw them be born. The third most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. One of these fucking Ridgewood guys picks up this big metal folding chair. All right, and he goes at the eye doctor, and he takes the fucking chair and throws it at the eye doctor. Right? The eye doctor doesn't flinch. As the chair comes, he catches it with one hand, comes around like this, and brings it down on the fucking guy's head. Like, boom! And the guy just goes down like a sack of shit. That's the most beautiful fucking thing I ever seen in my life on the street. That was so fucking tasty. All right? Now these kids come up on me, and they start hitting me, and they start punching me, and they're kicking me. I fall down, and I get up, and I realize I got to keep getting up and charging them, or I'm going to get killed, because it was like 10 of them and one of me. So I kept on getting up and charging into them, and they knocked me down again, and boom, boom, boom. I was like, and I get up, and I charge him again, and I was screaming at him, like I was not being politically correct, okay? I called him the F-bomb. I was like, but they were like, 10 on 1, and so I'm fighting them, and Gary Pirro. He's one tough motherfucker. He was fighting. So we're fighting. The drums get knocked over. Luckily, my guitars were in the truck. And then the cops come and start bust. The cops come and just start cracking everybody's head. They break the thing up. Now they arrested some of those guys and some of our guys, and they took them all the way to fucking Kew Gardens, to like the bullpens over there. So we're up all night waiting for these guys, you know, and they put them all in the same cell. So they had all these charges on them, and then so everybody had to go to court, and the judge just said, boys will be boys, dismissed. So that's Ridgewood, the Ridgewood riot. And the ironical thing is, when I got clean, I was living in Glendale on Cooper Avenue and 78th Avenue, which is like Glendale, but it's right next to Ridgewood. But then we lived in Ridgewood on Cornelia Street in Wyckoff, like on the Brooklyn side of Ridgewood. You know, Ridgewood, it straddles Queens and Brooklyn border, right? So we were like right in. So I actually lived there from like 1988 to 1993 in Ridgewood, and my kids lived there for a long time. As a matter of fact, my kids basically lived in their old neighborhood for a long time. So, and then we found out the guy that wanted to play the drums and everything, the guy that kind of started shit, he wound up being like the neighborhood coke dealer or something like that. Like he was the big sitting at the bar, like dealing grams of coke. So that's how he turned out. So that's my story for tonight. That's Ridgewood 1975.